My name is Peter Douglas-Osborn. I'm a local councillor for the Wheelie Ward, representing about 20,000 people on Birmingham City Council.
Fantastic, thanks Peter. So you're here tonight at this event. I'd like to ask you, how did you find the event and what key things did you learn? What will you take away?
I found it absolutely fascinating. Dr. Asmayesh, I think, has got an introduction into parts of the Islamic faith that I have never come across before. It's been a great experience tonight to see it from an internal angle, which is a part of theology, Islamic theology, that I have never come across before. So a real eye-opener.
Fantastic, that's brilliant. And how do you think what you've learnt tonight might help you in your role as a councillor?
Well, obviously, in my particular ward, we do have a centre called the Al Mahdi Centre, which goes out of its way to try and bring people together to discuss items, both Sunni and Shia and Christian and various other faiths, and that will help, I think, because the first thing I'm going to do is send them some information about what you have brought up to us in Birmingham today.
Fantastic. And obviously we've talked about the rise of Islamic extremism in the world. Do you have any comments on that, on how you think we can go about tackling this at a grassroots level in our own society?
Well, I think one of the things you have to learn as a Christian is not to tread, or to tread very carefully. And perhaps the best experience we have of the Middle East was in fact coined over 100 years ago, over that and the following 5 years, by Lawrence, T. Lawrence, who was Lawrence of Arabia, who described what the problems were out there in a way in which people didn't appreciate at the time, and he had a lot of work to do to try and point out how necessary it was to take into account the feelings of local people. And if that had been learnt and actually portrayed by the military attempts in the area, it would have had a totally different response, I think, a totally different result. So treating people very carefully, treating them as you would like to be treated yourself, I think would be the obvious answer. And this is something within that Shia introduction that which has a great relevance today, I think is the way to respond to what seems to be an irrational behaviour. It's a way to take into account the different groups that we have, different interpretations, and this is what Dr. Asmayesh has told us tonight. I think that part of the problems have arisen from an interpretation that took place right at the start, and that is how, by taking that into account and not expecting a generalization, is the way that we can improve our relations with people out there and hopefully defuse Islamic extremism, and perhaps we can do it best by taking those two words away.
Really wise words there. Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for your time.